everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Hand That Rocks the Cradle. As everybody knows, we interview a lot of mums and we want you to learn from what other mothers have already gone through. And for today, we have a very special mom. Her name is Tanvi. Tanvi is a new mother. She's mother to a 3-month-old baby girl, and we would like to know about Tanvi's experience in pregnancy and labor and postpartum, because she had a normal delivery and she had an unmedicated delivery as well. So she will be having lot of amazing tips about what she did. Before we get started, I'll give you a little background about Tanvi. Tanvi is not only a mommy, but she's also an Instagram influencer. She has a profile that goes by the name, obviously, Tanvi, and she has a massive following on Instagram. She is featured in a lot of places, like official Humans of Bombay. And we would love to know more about Tanvi's pregnancy and delivery experience. So, welcome Tanvi to today's episode.
Thank you so much for this very kind introduction. Spoke so highly of me. It's absolutely not as much as you think it is, but yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, Tanvi, you are a new mom. So, baby Tulsa, right? Her name is?
Yes, her name is Tulsa. Yes.
Yes, I love the name, by the way. So, Tulsa is 3 months old now.
Yes, she's 3.5 months old now.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you are very much a new mommy. How does it
Yes. So honestly, I'll tell you, it's a lot of feelings together. I would not say that right from pregnancy, like what we see in movies and serials, like the minute you find out you've conceived and you're jumping with joy, it's not always like that. Planned or not planned, it's always very overwhelming. You don't always jump in joy. Sometimes you just gasp like, okay, this is happening. So it's not always like you're jumping. So same thing with motherhood also. Some days are like everything is exhausting, but like most moms that I have spoken to or you will hear about will always say that whenever the baby smiles, it feels like it's all worth it. Whenever you hold the baby like this and you give them a hug, you feel it's worth it. So it's very beautiful when you see your husband or your partner playing with your baby, you feel it's beautiful, it's fine. So it's always different, every day is different, but overall, I think it's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, of course.
Yeah.
So, since you said planned or unplanned, we would love to know, Tanvi, what is our planned or unplanned baby?
Am I really supposed to answer this?
Yes.
Okay, so actually it's unplanned, definitely unplanned. We were going to go on our first anniversary trip to Turkey, and my first initial checkups with my husband when I was at my in-laws' place, that I was all negative that time. Okay, so I thought it must be exhaustion, delay in my period cycle, and then my husband said, "Why don't you go back to Pune to your city, stay with your parents for a couple days, and then we head for a vacation." So we planned a nice 15-day vacation. And I had my visa appointment in Mumbai the next day, and I'm still waiting to get my periods, and I did not get them. So I checked again in Pune, and that's when I was positive. And my Pune gynaec said, "Hardevi, 200% you're positive. What is wrong with you?" And then I said, "No, I was not positive last week." And then I called my husband. I said, "Listen, I'm pregnant." He's like, "Why are you making such jokes, such poor jokes?" I said, "No, I'm not." Because he was also very sure that we're not expecting. And then both of us, so with us, what happened? So both of us were like, "Okay, this is happening." I said, "Listen, you please go to sleep for 1 hour because I'm sleeping for 2 hours." And then we'll talk. No, but I always knew I want a child, and he's 5 years elder to me. So he'll be 30 this year, and I'll be 25 this year. So I am very young also. Like friends, people my age, they're mostly doing their masters or getting a job, barely getting married. So on that front, I don't know anybody who's, delivered a baby at 24. But it's okay, I mean. But yeah, it was unplanned.
No, it is absolutely okay. And you won't believe, like, my mom also had me at 24 and
Oh, my mom had me when she was 19.
19. So, see, like, before, like, I mean, it's a great age actually. If you ask me, that it's great to have your first.
It is honestly. Yes, because my energy levels support it right now. And considering the kind of lifestyles, see, I don't even blame it on someone's drinking, smoking, dancing, sedentary, any lifestyle. Also, the kind of food that we consume today, it's
True,
very adulterated. It's not as great as it was in our parents' generation.
true, true.
Our grandparents have a better life expectancy, better health because their food was eventually very pure. It did not come It was very seasonal what they ate. They
Yes.
had a lot of activity, less pollution. So I think considering how our lives are today, if you want a child, I always tell my friends also, like my other friends who are, my husband's friends' wives who
Yes.
are a little elder to me. 5 years difference is a lot. Others are, they're all elder to me. I'm probably the youngest. Yeah. So I always tell them, ki when you know you want it, it's best never say never,
Yes.
because I have also see all it's always a personal decision. But from what I have seen around in my extended family, I've seen couples not want it and go with heavy concept like contraceptive measures and then later regret it, because even after like 3 and 4 and 5 years of trying an IVF and IUIs, they're struggling.
Yes.
It is very stressful. So I think even if you're using contraception, always do it like in talks with a professional, be very careful and know your reproductive health, and only then decide if you want to push it further or if you want to take a chance right now.
Nee, nee, absolutely, I
I
agree.
mean, it's just a little piece of my advice from what I've seen around me.
I agree absolutely. So, even if if later on there's issue in conceiving and all of that, to start it in your 30s means it becomes more late, right?
Exactly, exactly. Which is why I was open, because my husband will be 30 this year. And I said, it's okay. I always wanted to have a child. So, one, two, I don't know, but at least let's. I was happy with the fact that I was a little bummed about the trip. We were both very bummed because we couldn't take the trip. But we took a trip in my pregnancy. I'll come to that later. So, yeah.
So no, I loved your story. And Tanvi, like since you said it was unplanned, like the first question that came to my mind is, how did you how did you find out, like when you saw like a positive pregnancy test or something, like what was your reaction, like oh my god, how, what you went through?
My heart started. So I went to the clinic directly with my mom because I already took medication with my husband for getting my periods when I was with him at my in-laws' place in Tamil Nadu. So I was taking medication. I did not get it, and the course was over. And that's when I called my Pune gynec and I said, Auntie, do one thing. I have a trip. Just give me another course so that I quickly get done with my periods and I can enjoy my trip. And she said, what is wrong with you? Because she's a close family friend. She said, please don't do this. You're married. You are in a reproductive age. Let me run a pregnancy test on you. I said, but Auntie, I'm not pregnant. I'm pretty sure. I checked last week. She said, no, come to the clinic. So I directly went to the clinic. I did not check at home. And at the clinic, I just, the nurse took my urine sample and she was testing it. So I did not have the test in my hand. She even took the blood. I ran all three tests again, like the scan, the blood test, and the urine test. And before I could get out of the washroom, the nurse told the doctor that I'm pregnant, and she was still reaching the clinic. She was not there, and she already told my mother कि आपकी बेटी तो pregnant है, and my mother is jumping with joy. And I'm like, okay, 1 second. And I took the phone and I called my gynac. I said, Auntie, आप जल्दी clinic पहुंचो. आप क्या बात कर रहे हो? ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है. She said, नहीं, 100% you're pregnant. I said, नहीं, I'm not. So I was very like, okay, but can I take the trip? And my mom was like, can you shut up? So I was still thinking about the trip. So again, this is very raw. This is the first time I'm talking about this entire, every time someone asks me on my stories, is it planned or not? I always say, keep guessing, keep guessing. This is the first time I've spoken about it openly. That
Yes.
yeah, it's not planned. And I was very bummed about the trip. And honestly, I was not unhappy with the pregnancy, but I was very unhappy that like it could have waited 10 days, 10 days.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but I later, coming to the rational terms with it, I was very happy that I found out in advance. Like, had I been on the trip and, it could have turned into a hazard, or God knows what could have happened with the kind of exertions it could have led to, an unhealthy pregnancy, God forbid a miscarriage, anything while you're on a holiday, you never know, which is why.
Yeah, absolutely. And first trimester anytime is most riskiest, right? So it was really,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. That's why then I was told to, wait. So that time the baby didn't even have a heartbeat. It was so early. It was that early. So I was told not to take a flight even back to see my husband.
hmm,
Like stay in the same city, don't take a flight. So till the baby gets a heartbeat.
yes.
Because which would have taken another 10-15 days according to the doctor. So I waited, and every day I was so cranky because I told my husband he booked his tickets like 10 days apart. We were going to fly from Mumbai. So
Ah,
I'm like, you come early, you come early. And then he said, fine, I'll come early, because then I got very cranky without him. I said, see, I need you around. Like, even if I had my parents, my family around, I just needed him around. So that was our first reaction. And then he kept, my husband is a very fun guy. So he'll crack jokes. And then he said it in Hindi, like, भाई क्या मजाक कर रहे हैं यार, ऐसे दिस नॉट अ गुड जोक। I said no dude, like we talk like this only, like dude नहीं यार, भाई नहीं यार, ऐसे नहीं, like नहीं ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, ये तो बड़ी न्यूज है ना यार, फिर तो मिठाई मिठाई बंटवाते हैं। ऐसे आई एम नॉट किडिंग, प्लीज। So
Oh,
yeah, that was our first reaction.
yeah, like superb, yeah, superb. So Tanvi, like when I was like actually reading about you, something that I actually like struck me was that firstly you had normal delivery, and
Yes,
second thing was that you had an unmedicated delivery. Now,
yes, yes,
I have spoken to a lot of mothers. Okay, so we interview moms, right, on pregnancy, labor, all of that.
yes, yes.
And now the amount of C sections that women are having is so high. I
It's
mean,
very high.
majority women have gone through C sections. So I would love to know, did you do anything in your pregnancy, that helped? I
Yes,
understand obviously complications and every pregnancy is different.
yes,
Um,
yes,
was there something specific that you did that
yes.
you think would have helped you to go normal?
Yes, I did. I did. So I tell you what happened. Initial 4.5 to 5 months, I would throw up all the time. So I had no. Everybody said do Garbh Sanskar, do Dharam Dhyan, pray to God, do your chants. But 4.5 to 5 months, even if I had a sip of water, I was throwing up. It was that bad. So I used to be so fatigued. If I ate a meal, it was activity for me. It was so tough. But then later it got better. So
Hmm.
at my fifth, like at the end of my fifth, sixth month, we went to Thailand for 7 days. I did a baby moon. Then we went to Goa for 4 5 days with my entire in-laws family. Then I went, right now I'm in Bangalore. My in-laws live in Erode. So we went to Erode for 10 15 days in Tamil Nadu. So that period also passed. Then
Hmm.
I had a baby shower function, a grand function in my sasural, like my in-laws place. So that prep and everything went on for another couple weeks. So that time passed. So then by the end of my seventh month, my mother-in-law has been an arthritis patient for close to 30 years now. The minute my husband was born, in
Hmm.
a week, she got rheumatoid arthritis. And for the longest time, she has believed that it happened because her postpartum care was not good. She did not take care
Agree.
of herself.
Yeah.
This is what she thinks. Okay, the reason is still unknown, but she's old now. So she said कि she slept with gap between her legs after a normal delivery, which she thinks कि हवा चली गई, and then Hindi is okay, right? If I so she thinks कि हवा चली गई and इसलिए उनको इतना तकलीफ हो गया. Until date, she has mobility issues. Like both her knees are replaced, both her hips are replaced. Her hands wouldn't turn straight. So because she went through this,
Hmm.
she's like a mom to me. She's my mother. I'm very close to her. So she was very sure कि in my pregnancy, in my delivery, I should go to my mom's place in my seventh month. Eighth, may they don't send, it's
Yes.
considered inauspicious. So I went towards the end of my seventh month so I could spend more time with my husband and then come back only after Tulsa is 3 months old. She was very sure about this.
Yes.
So that's when, I left the house, like I reached Pune at my mom's place towards my eighth month, like the beginning. The day I reached now, within 3 to 4 days, this entire background because I started very late. I
Okay.
started prenatal yoga in my eighth month. Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah, very late, very late. So I also joined because I was like, kya karenge? I'll get bored. I can't, do too many things. But I was very, very so like I said, I was throwing up initially, but then I took trips. I did my reels. I did recording. I was off social media for good 6 months because I was not revealing, and then I was
hmm.
not feeling well also.
Hmm.
But once I was back, I joined yoga. It was 1.5 hour a day.
Okay.
The main thing was, I'll tell you, my teacher was great. She even came in my labor room. I would really, really thank my stars for finding her, and I can't thank her enough. So we started with like very basic exercise.
Hmm.
Earlier zamane mein they used to like do the chakki for atta.
Ah.
Like so those kind of exercises, like everything that comes from our ancestors, yeah. घर का जो काम है,
Hmm.
बैठ के पोछा करना, our maids, not the mop. बैठ के जो पोछा करते हैं ना,
Uh-huh.
duck walk, that is
Yes.
duck walk.
Yes.
Then these exercises, all of this household work that our mothers and grandmothers did earlier
Yes.
is what has come into exercises now because we don't tend to do that. So that is one thing that really helped me. You will not believe, even I don't believe it till date, that I used to do sumo squats, okay? Like spread your legs in half squats, like sumo squats. I've done close to 800 to 900 squats a day towards
Wow.
the end of my pregnancy. Yes. But this only happened because my teacher, no, she taught us to breathe right. You always inhale from the nose and exhale from the mouth.
Yes.
So we started with like 50 squats a day. Next day she made it 100. Then she made it 125. She used to do this there. She used to stand with us and count like, no, no, you can do it. You can do it. She's a Marwadi. I'm a Marwadi. So नहीं करना is पहला करना in Marwadi so you have to do it. I said नहीं auntie अब नहीं हो रहा. She said last five नहीं हो रहा ना last five. Now again the entire term and condition to this is that if the doctor allows you.
Yes.
In my case, I was allowed to do it. So it's different for everyone. But honestly, I think most people are allowed to do it.
Yeah.
You just keep your doctor in loop of whatever you're doing. That's very important. But my yoga teacher has experienced for close to 20, 25 years now, I think. Which is why I could trust her. I kept my doctor in loop. And so the entire catch of my normal delivery is breathe in, breathe out, and this exercise. And in our ninth month, no, my baby is a full term baby, okay? So in my ninth month, she used to teach us like lie down, take your legs close, and push. Like we did a mock delivery every day. She
Yeah.
taught us the pushing exercise. Yes, like inhale and like how to press your jaw like against like teeth to teeth. It has to that it's supposed to be done a certain way. Shut your eyes and like put where do you have to put pressure? You don't have to put pressure on your vagina. You have to put it towards the rectum area,
Yes.
like as if you were trying to poop. So all these technicalities now, I tell you, they're not taught. And what happens is when you go in the labor room and the doctor tells you do this and do that, you are not in the state. Which is why this is so helpful to know this beforehand. See, again, whenever I say anything, it really excludes the people who have complications or it's very circumstantial that they have to have there's less water or there's a cord. All this is secondary. But in a case where everything is hale and hearty, I think a normal delivery is absolutely possible. And again, I'm not judging those who have a C-sec. It's a very personal choice. I'm nobody to have a say on that, but it is possible. It's nothing that we can't do. And every day I used to remind myself that millions of women do it every day. It's not difficult. And
Yeah.
without the epidural, I'll tell you why that happened. So my due date was 12th of February, but I did not have any pain before that. So my doctor said, and everybody else in my class, no, they were delivering like 10 days before their due date, 15 days. So people
Yes.
who were due after me were also delivering. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
abhi to aaja, why? And then my doctor's like, if you're so tired of this, we can hospitalize you, we can induce pain, and then we can try. Then I said, no, no, I don't want to do all that. I'll wait for pain. So I waited, and I think punctual as my daughter might be since from right from her birth, she like my pain started at 4 a.m. in the morning on 12th only.
So one
From
thing, you
4
had
a
like the labor pain started normally, right? No induction, nothing. Just you
No,
started
no,
labor
nothing,
pain.
nothing. It just started. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if my daughter's very punctual about her timing for what. It's 4 a.m. and I called my husband well in it 2 days in advance कि कभी भी hospitalize करना पड़ सकता है. And he came to Pune and he's like, "What is up? कुछ भी तो नहीं हो रहा. You seem absolutely." I said, "I know कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. Why?" I was so like bothered कि इसको आना है नहीं आना है. Because in the middle, if you go to my Instagram, that I danced at my baby shower. I was in my ninth month and I've done like a full-fledged dance item at my cousin's
Yes.
wedding in Pune.
Yes.
Like in my ninth month, and everybody's like, "तुझे hospital जाना पड़ सकता है यहाँ से." I said, "I'll go, but I want to enjoy the wedding." So like initial months were gone and throwing up, so I knew that the last part I have to enjoy no matter what. And then the pain started at 4 a.m. and my husband's like, "Chalo, let's get you hospitalized." I called my doctor. I called my yoga teacher. I really trusted her and I spoke to my mother. My mother was like, "There's no water break. You can still feel the baby moving. And if you can take the contractions, don't get hospitalized yet." And my doctor said the same thing. My yoga teacher also said, "Wait, keep walking in the house." So throughout, I'm telling you, Mayura, throughout like 4 a.m. the pain started. Till 11:30 p.m. I was at home for more than 12 to 15 hours. Yeah. So I was at home. I'm only inhaling from the nose, exhaling from the mouth. And also one catch was again, my yoga teacher. You'll hear about her a lot. She told me if you scream or you say, I say, if you scream loudly, you lose energy and your baby hears you and it gets scared and it stiffens up. Like it's just
Mm.
like this. Like it shivers inside. So it does not come slide down for normal delivery, is what she told us. I did not, you will not believe this. Even I don't till date. I did not scream even once. Every time I inhaled and I felt like screaming, I would chant. I
What
have a
were you
chant that I
thinking?
live by. Sahajatma Swarup Param Guru. It's a
Okay.
religious chant of the
Okay.
Guru that I believe in.
Got
So
it.
I just looked at my God's photograph. I say Sahajatma Swarup Param Guru. Only like walking around the house slowly, slowly, sitting, tired, getting up, walking, trying to eat, can't eat. But my doctor and teacher were in loop that the baby is still moving, then you're fine.
Hmm.
That is very important. So what I did was totally under observation. Just because I did not get hospitalized does not mean others should not. I could feel the baby movements. There was no water break. That's why I was at home. Then 11:30 in the night, my doctor suggested that you please get hospitalized because what happens is if it gets tough at midnight, you will panic.
Ah.
So you stay under observation. So I said, perfect. My hospital was 10 minutes away from my place. So
Hmm.
that's when I packed my hospital bag. Like I told my mother, put this, put that. I was very chill, like heavy procrastination. So last minute I packed my hospital bag and then I left. I got hospitalized directly in the OT. Then I had a couple internal checkups. They said there's pain. I said, yeah, there is pain. She said, but you seem fine. I said, no, there is a lot of pain. I just believe in not screaming because I was told not to scream, and I also think I'm also very embarrassed. I
Ah.
scream, so so then I was like, no, no, let's not scream. So then she said, okay, wait, और pain होगा. Then I told the nurses बहुत दुख रहा है. So नहीं और होगा. So just because they kept saying और होगा, I kept dealing कि नहीं इससे ज्यादा होने वाला तो चिल्ला के फायदा नहीं है. Okay, it's going to be more like hold on.
Hmm.
So just the thought that it will like grow anyway. The pain is going to expand. It's going to get worse. So there's no point in giving up now. After like crossing 15 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, सुबह हो गई, सुबह के 6 बज गए, पेन बढ़ रहा है, बढ़ रहा है, बढ़ रहा है. And I'm still walking. Then they put me on drips only so that I don't get dehydrated.
Hmm.
Drips खत्म होते again. I'm like, remove this. I'm walking. I'm pooping. I'm peeing. Like I'm mobile. I'm doing everything, and I'm seeing two, three women hospitalized, going around. सब चल रहा है. I remember everything. Then it was around 10:15. Okay, 9:45, 10 in the morning. And I said, listen now, please call my doctor. He's a visiting faculty at that hospital. I said, please call him. I can't take this anymore. He said, but ma'am, आप चिल्ला भी नहीं रहे हो, आपको पेन और बढ़ेगा. I said, अभी मैं चिल्ला दूंगी if you don't call him. Because only I know that I really can't take it anymore. So my husband came. What happened? What I said, I don't want to talk to anyone. Everybody, please leave very calmly. Just send my yoga teacher inside. I told my mom, Mama, you wait outside. My doctor came, he checked. He said, she's almost 8 centimeters dilated. What are you guys doing?
Wow.
And then, yeah, because all the nurses, they kept checking. But in the last 20, 30 minutes, no, I dilated very swiftly from 3 to 8. And that's where the pain grew very rapidly. It increased so badly. But I kept, thinking, ki, aur hoga, aur hoga. And then the doctor's like, we're almost there. I said, what? Already? We have to start pushing. He said, yes, start pushing. And I said, okay. And then he told my parents, he told my husband, ki, iske normal delivery ke full chances hai. And my husband did like this from the back. I said, you please go out. Because I was also told that if he's inside now, he might faint because
Hmm.
he cannot see blood.
Yeah.
And if he sees me in pain and he tells the doctor कि नहीं इसका C-section कर दो, I don't want to do that. I
True.
said I don't want to put him through that trauma. It is traumatizing. It's different for everyone. For me, I didn't want my husband inside. So I told him, you wait outside. It's very heavy on the man also. We don't
Ah.
understand that. Like, just for the knack of having him inside, putting him through this kind of trauma is not worth it.
Hmm.
So I kept pushing, pushing, and they said, no, let's take her to the OT. We might need a little oxygen on the side. So they took me to the OT. My yoga teacher was also not there. And I said, please call her. They said, no, we don't allow anyone in the OT. We can allow her in the labor room, but not here. I said, okay, forget it. And then he said, push. I pushed once. He said, push. I pushed twice. The third time, I said, I can't do this. And then the doctor said, you're wasting so many hours of hard work. Don't waste a contraction. I said, oh, yeah, I can't waste it. And then I pushed, and in the third or fourth push, she was out. And the minute I heard her cry, now the funniest part that happened because I was in the labor room, I
Hmm.
had my phone under my pillow. And they directly shifted me, and the phone was still under my pillow. And I was fully conscious. And I pushed her out, and she's crying, and my phone rang. It was on
Okay.
ring. And my mom was actually calling to find my phone. She said, "Iska phone kho jayega." And she called,
Ah.
and I answered. The doctor took her, put her on me. They took her to clean her. And I answered. I said, "Hello, mama." And I gave it to the nurse. I said, "Lo, मेरी मम्मी को बच्ची के रोने की आवाज सुनाओ." And the nurse was like, "What is happening?" And
My
then
God.
and then it was just 10, 15 minutes I was into the labor room and my mom heard the baby cry and I hung up.
Hmm.
And then she's telling everyone outside, bacha ho gaya. And everybody's like, are you crazy? She just went inside. How is it possible? My mom said, no, she answered my phone. My dad said, impossible. How can she answer while she's delivering a baby? But I actually did. And then the doctor is taking stitches and he's doing my stitches. And then He's like, no, before that, he's like, push the placenta out. I said, I already pushed a baby out. Now, can you let me go? And then he's like, no, last. I said, okay, I pushed. And then he's like, I'm taking stitches. Then they give local
Yes.
anesthesia on near the anal area. And then I could feel everything. Okay, like, it didn't hurt, but I knew that stitches हो रहे हैं. मुझे जिंदगी में stitches हुए नहीं, तो I knew something fishy. Like I said, something is happening. And I was like, doctor, are you done? Like I was this conscious and I was like, done. I said, मेरे को सिर्फ जाना है. He's like, बेटा हो गया. Like he's a Marwadi and a senior doctor. He said, बेटा हो गया. I said, नहीं मुझे जाना है यार. It's like a kid. I'm telling him मुझे जाना है. He said, last, if you don't cooperate, all your, my work of 10 minutes, you will extend it to 1 hour. I said, no, no, no chance. You do your thing. And I asked him, like, okay, like, promise karo aapka ye last hai. Abhi mera ho gaya. Promise karo, please promise karo. Like, okay. He's like, हाँ beta, promise. And then they gave Tulsa to me. And my mom had told me or Pratik, my husband, the minute you take her clothes now, chant Navkar mantra is the main Jain mantra in her ears.
Yes.
So nobody was there, and what happened? I was conscious. तो मुझे 24 years of my life जितना भगवान का सिखाया होगा ना, मैं पूरा उसके कान में बोले जा रही हूँ, बोले जा रही हूँ, बोले जा रही हूँ. I was so conscious. And then the doctor is also a Marwadi. He's looking up. He's like, मैंने जिंदगी में ऐसे कभी देखा नहीं कि एक माँ डिलीवरी होते ही बच्चे को पूरा भगवान का सुना रही है. I said, you please finish your job. Let me go. The nurse took her out, and then my mom told me this. The nurse took her out, and then Pratik took her clothes, and he started saying Navkar mantra. And the nurse was like, "आप क्या सुनाओगे? उसकी मम्मी ने already सुना दिया आपको इतने दिन." And then they took me out, and it was this way. Yeah. So the key takeaway of this entire story is breathe right, nose and mouth. Chant. If you feel like screaming now, you can't keep quiet. Instead, chant anything that helps you, or just say a positive thing, an affirmation. And honestly, if you're you should trust your doctor, which is very important. And if you trust your doctor enough, so from my day one of my appointment with the doctor, I used to always tell it to him. The doctor, unless absolutely required, I am opting. I repeat, I am opting to deliver normally.
Yeah.
Unless absolutely required. Unless absolutely required. If all my tests are supporting, I will not go for a C-section.
Yeah.
So because one of my other friends was expecting now, she told me on the phone, Tanvi, मुझसे तो होगा ही नहीं, I'm getting the epidural or C-section done. I said, you're in your third month and you're giving up. Don't do this now. I am no professional, but what I can say from my experience is it's 100% possible. That's how the nature was built.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, it's different for everyone. This is how it worked for me.
No, absolutely, and it's so inspiring, Tanvi, to hear your experience because so many mothers are afraid of just the pain. Matlab, we are not experienced it, but just the
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
hearing
saying
about it.
because for someone like me, I've never had stitches in my life. I've never had a fracture in my life. Okay. Considering that, I don't know what the pain is like. I don't know what my pain threshold is. I
Yeah,
really don't know.
yeah,
So that's why I'm very puzzled all the time. So, which is why yoga or some kind of lamas or prenatal education is so important, but it's absolutely manageable. The pain is manageable. And
yeah,
if you really think you can't take it, go for an epidural. But trust me, you can see if I could do it, anybody can do it very honestly. Because for someone like me, मुझे ऐसे तवे पे चटका भी बैठ जाए तो I just go like, oh, I can't do this that way.
yeah.
I'm that. Everybody makes fun of me. What Nazuk Kali behavior is, and now it has stopped because the same Nazuk Kali delivered a baby.
Yes. No, I
So.
don't think so. Yeah, I think you are super strong. It's not possible.
I can't believe it myself, but it is possible. That's what I'm saying. If I could do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, and you have already given lot of important tips. One thing is getting some kind of a prenatal thing like
Yes,
as or prenatal yoga whatever because
100%.
I also had a normal delivery. However, I had no idea how to push. I was on the
Exactly.
labor table and they were like push push. I'm like where what to push
Exactly. And you're
so
not
you
even
need to
in the
focus.
state. Like, कोई आपको उस minute ज्ञान दे तो आप उसको थप्पड़ लगा दोगे कि like
Huh?
don't do this. Like where to push and waiting the baby comes out of the vagina. Like very because I'm talking from my experience. I'll think, oh, you have to push there only. You have to put pressure there.
Ah,
But I was told where to put the pressure, where to put your mind to focus at.
yeah.
That's why I could do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's important. And I did not know where to push. And the nurses had to help me. As in they had climbed
Yeah,
and they
like
were pushing like from my stomach.
correct.
So
Correct.
happens. So superb, yeah, Tanvi, like superb. So coming to a post birth, like the postpartum period. How did that, like, were you able to breastfeed her? Are you breastfeeding? Uh,
Yes. So, yeah. So, like the day in the hospital, because I was in labor for 30 plus hours, I had barely slept. So, the night, so she was born at 10:50 a.m., 7 a.m. So, after that, I breastfed her twice or thrice, like how many times she needed. But when it was evening, no, I don't even remember when I fell asleep. And the doctors told my mom to let her sleep.
hmm,
So, that night, she took, I think, two or three formula feeds. My mom, they fed
yeah,
her the formula. That was the only time she was fed the formula. After that, what happened for breastfeeding? What happens because there were stitches? No, if
yeah,
I am to help other moms with this detail, I couldn't sit cross-legged or I couldn't like sit upright without support on the back. But I managed, I took help and I breastfed her since day one. Yes, I did. But one very important thing that I went through in my normal delivery that I was not aware of was hemorrhoids, piles, fissures. So that was very, very painful. I mean, I stopped eating the laddus. You get those laddus, they have lots of goond in them.
yes,
I stopped eating thinking they are making me hot, they're giving me heat. I stopped that. So that was a tough phase. Like even right now, on some days, I face a little issue on that
yes,
front, a fissure issue but I'm like I realized only later, okay, a lot of women with normal delivery go through this. So that was
yes,
one thing. That one thing really hurt, but I I used to remind myself like you did a baby, so this you can manage, so it's
yeah,
okay. Then, one second, sorry.
okay,
Huh. So, yeah, so that was one thing. Breastfeeding, I'm still breastfeeding. Even on days if I have to go out, I've yet to use the pump, but on a couple days I manually expressed and I only used a katori and a chammach, a baby
ah,
spoon and a katori. Because I'm still contemplating bottle, no bottle. I'm still in that rut, but I think I will switch to the bottle because earlier, our lives were not so outgoing, but now they're outgoing and a katori chammach in a car is not practical,
not
not
good.
only because it might spill but it
Yeah,
might also hurt her.
yes,
So that's why. And breastfeeding in the car is also getting a little tough because she does not let me cover it properly. She's pulling all the time. She's getting a little playful. So that's one thing.
right,
And yeah, so that was one thing. And also with respect to formula, also now, a couple times when I was at my mom's place, now I left her with my mom and I went. So only because I got late, she had the same formula tin. So only like 3 to 4 spoons of formula she made and she fed an emergency. Otherwise, no, I've not like yeah. I kept it for the emergency, but right now I don't own formula. I
okay.
don't have it right now.
Hmm.
I'm exclusively breastfeeding her.
Great. So, it was easy for you. I mean, any tips for mothers who want to choose breastfeeding? As in, did you do anything for milk supply? Anything
Oh,
like?
so I initially in the 45 days now, I was only eating dal roti choor ke. Like
Ah,
my nanny told me कि जितना liquid खाओगे उतना better milk supply होगा. Taurine milk is what
ah,
I drink twice a day. Then and now I started eating outside also. But I avoid rajma chole everything because it does make her gassy. From
gassy.
my personal experience, it does. And I try to eat at home, but it happens that I eat sugar. I'm still, 4 5 kilos up.
Hmm.
So that's there. I still have a nice tummy. I have very bad stretch marks. It really took my confidence away despite so many creams. It did not help. But now, my husband said, "What is wrong with you? You should be proud of it. You just
Yeah,
had a baby." I said, "Yeah, that's true. That's the last thing I should think about."
used.
Because towards the end of my 8th month, I had no stretch marks. And one night I slept and the next morning I wake up, there's so many. And I
Ah,
start crying because I used to check my bump every day and I started crying. But later, I think I just moved on from that.
yeah,
It is what it is.
yeah,
My mom did not get, my co-sister did not get, and I'm like, why me, why me? And then I said, what's wrong with you? It's okay. It is what it is. So
yeah,
that is one thing I was a little miffed about, bummed with, but later I said, no, it's fine.
yeah,
Feeding also this, like for breastfeeding, I think later what I heard from a lot of doctors is drink a lot of water. That's
yes,
very important.
yes.
You
Liquid
have to
is
drink a
super
lot of
important
water.
too.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I think that's my main takeaway from about breastfeeding. And
Yeah,
I don't shy away from feeding her in public.
yes,
These days it is a little difficult because she plays with it and
yeah,
also with her, if I delay her feeding by 10 minutes, she cries for 20 minutes, she shouts at me. It's like
hmm,
that, like as if she's throwing a tantrum for delay. How could you do this? Ay, 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 ay. She cries. Then after I'm like, sorry, Tulsa, sorry, baby. Ay, 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 okay. I say like in that tone, like as if she's actually talking to me. So yeah, but it's all right only, manageable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I convey like so many practical advices. And Shatavari, I've heard it helps a lot. I mean,
Yes.
of women, like this is also something that, from grandmother's times, this is going on.
Yes.
Shatavari has been taken from so many years.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, it was like super good to talk to you, Tanvi, and I am
Thank you.
definitely sure that everybody who's watching this, who's pregnant right now, is going to try for a normal delivery hearing your experience.
Definitely try. If you know you can do it, then don't give up too soon. You can
Yeah,
do it. Yeah.
yeah, it is absolutely possible, and there are ways that you can prepare yourself for it, like how you have shared, and like our bodies were made to deliver babies, so we have been doing this for so many years, and I'm sure that with the right education and the right knowledge, all of us can do that.
Yes.
So it's superb to talk to you, Tanvi. It was superb to hear your experience and how your
Thank you.
pregnancy and your postpartum journey has been.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
for having me.
you very much.
Yes. Thank you. It was great talking to you. And
Same.
I wish all the moms the very best. Anybody who's watching this, I know you can do it. It's not that difficult. Otherwise, just, get enough help, speak to people who are experienced, and don't give up yet. You can do this. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, Tanvi. Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.